Hello there, Shihan. So thanks for writing in and sending us these essays. Let's take a look at what you did here. We have your task one. It would be really helpful when you do your task ones if you could actually include the diagram. It helps me in many, many ways. So keep that in mind for future essay corrections. In the meantime, let's take a look at what you wrote. The given pie chart represents the crop production during 2017 in France over a selected group of crops. Okay, I don't know if over is accurate here. I would have selected a different word for a selected group of crops. It is clear, you don't need a comma here. It is clear. Cotton, sugar, wheat, and barley are the primary productions in France. Okay. Cotton reports the highest percentage with 34.4. You didn't need to start a new sentence here. It should have been one sentence. Whilst the lowest items produced, no, the lowest items produced are corn with 1.7 and rice with 3.5. The next popular item produced after cotton is, careful, sugar with 21.9. Interestingly, comma, wheat sits almost even with sugar at 20.4. Barley has a production next with 18%. Overall, it shows the country's... It shows the country. No, I'm sorry. If you have a noun here and you have an adverb and you have a noun again and then a verb, so it's just not appropriate. Overall, it shows that the country's main production depends mainly, and I really don't care for the same word in the same sentence. So primarily on cotton, sugar, barley, and wheat. Less interest is shown for corn and rice. However, these figures are for 2017 and perhaps they have changed over the last few years. It is recommended, though, France place some interest on corn and rice as there is great potential and demand in Asia and other subcontinent countries. Okay, now, up to here you were fine. It was an overview. But all of this here is absolutely inappropriate for a task one. You don't want to include any information that is not there for you. Nobody has asked you to make any sort of draw any conclusions. Nobody has asked you to discuss the reasons for something or, you know, kind of look into the deeper deeper meaning of what's being shown. That's absolutely not what you're supposed to do. You can leave that kind of development for task two. Here you are simply reporting facts, reporting data. Okay, so I would really want to see all of this gone, everything from here on. Now, what does that mean for your word count? I don't know. I haven't done a word count. You could probably do that. What would it mean if this was the extent of your essay? Okay, would you be at around 150 words? I don't know. Everything you wrote was okay. I didn't want all these capitals. There was no reason for wheat to be capitalized and so forth. Other than that, it was fine. Again, if I had the graph, it would have been helpful. But that's, you know, whatever. You're neither here nor there. And your next ones, I'm sure you will find a way to include them. Let's take a look at the one about jobs. Staying in the same job or switching. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Okay. Let me look at your notes for a second. Advantages of changing. And okay, interesting. Let's see. It has been the biggest topic in the recent years if employees should change their jobs at least once during their career or stick with the same role for longer periods. While there are mixed views on this topic, I firmly believe that employees should be encouraged to switch jobs. Accordingly, this essay will first discuss the advantages of switching jobs and then move on to address the disadvantages of staying in the same role for longer periods. Okay, so essentially you're talking about one side of the issue. And that's certainly one way to do it. I'm going to just pose this to you that perhaps it would be a better idea to address both sides of the issue. Maybe in a discursive essay, this is what we do. We discuss the side that we disagree with first, and you know, what sort of logic and what sort of validity exists to that viewpoint, and then we go on to discuss the side that we actually support. Okay, it's something to think about. Keep it in mind. Let's see what you said. There are many benefits and positive inputs in switching jobs. I don't know what you mean by input. Although they must be done in progression and in the hopes of career advancement. Every new job or role explores employees in different, not explores, it introduces, so every new job or role introduces employees to different work cultures and environments. This keeps the role interesting and challenging. It also helps the employees to take additional responsibilities and master new skills and advance their existing skills as they get to work with different peers and teams. Without exception, it also helps to have a better pay and other fringe benefits that will benefit, again, benefit, that will allow one to move up the ladder with experience. For example, my friend was able to be highly successful in the field of risk management as a result of working in different work cultures. Okay, a lot of this is good, but there is a part where there was absolutely no support. It was just like idea, and there was no development, there was no explanation, there was no support for some of your ideas. Let's talk about some of that. For example, you said it keeps the role interesting and challenging. Oh, really? How? Why? Why does a new job make things challenging? Even though that might seem very elementary to you, you still need to explain it to the person reading your essay. How do you see this as being challenging? Because I might have a different reason for thinking of this as being challenging. Like, say, for example, I might think that, yeah, a new work culture is challenging because I have to get up at a different time every day to find a new route to work. But you might mean that it's challenging to take on new responsibilities, meet new people, adapt to a new work culture, etc., etc. So don't assume that I understand what you mean, or that, we interpret the word challenges in the same way. All right, you have to explain to me what your definition of challenging is. Okay, this was okay. And then here, how is better pay and other fringe benefits involved in this? So all of this needed a little more support. Otherwise, you're just kind of throwing out ideas and not really anchoring them at all with support or explanation. Okay. On the flip side, staying in the same role, let's change this. The although doesn't work here. So on the flip side, although staying in the same role may be quite complacent for many, it may not necessarily help to have a great career. I don't know if complacent is really the right word here. They often do not promise a career progression or attract better pay. Who is they? Who is they? I don't know. The skills gained within the role are not challenged and improved as they can be limited. No additional responsibility. Okay, again, support it. No additional responsibilities are taken. And this may result in fewer job opportunities as most of the LinkedIn social media. Okay, why are we talking about LinkedIn now? All right. As a result, the unemployment rate can go high. Okay, again, I don't understand where we're going with this now. You've lost me in terms of the development of this essay. Some workplaces may offer redundancy packages for long-serving ING employees. For example, at MYOB, nearly 30% of the staff were made redundant in the past year for corporate reasons. Okay, I have to read this again. All right, let me see. I'm reading it again, and I wanted to just make a couple of changes to make it be a little clearer. Okay. And they can be limited. When staying in the same job, no additional responsibilities are taken, and this may result in fewer job opportunities than most LinkedIn social media sites require. Again, even though I changed it, I don't know why we're talking about LinkedIn here. And I don't understand why this, are you essentially telling me that if people don't change jobs, then they are not going to be attractive to jobs on LinkedIn, and all of these jobs are, a lot of people are going to be jobless? I don't really understand the train of thought here. It's not 100% clear, I have to be honest with you, okay? And then you're talking about redundancy packages, and I really don't understand why. I mean, we're talking about staying in the same job. I know what you said. You want to talk about the disadvantages of staying in the same job. I understand that. Um, but some of your arguments just aren't clear. That's the problem here, okay? So in summary, employees must be encouraged to look for job opportunities and switch roles, not simply for better pay package, thinking short term, but more as long-term goal for career progression. Okay, again, we have to change some grammar here. Let's look at it one more time. In summary, employees must be encouraged to look for job opportunities and switch roles, not simply for a better pay package and thinking only in the short term, but also as a long-term goal for career progression. I think that works a little better, no? Okay, fine. It's a fine job. It's appropriate. Okay, no major problems. I what do I want to tell you about this? I want to tell you that I really would have liked not to analyze the agree and the in other words the advantages of changing and the disadvantages of staying the same. But I would have liked you to see and address why you potentially should stay in the same job. What are the benefits of that? Okay? And so then what you could have done is you could have discussed the benefits of staying in the same job and why, yeah, you know, there are some times where it might be appropriate, it might seem like a good idea, but you know what? All of those advantages pale in comparison to the advantages one gets when he or she changes jobs. Okay? That's one way I would have liked to see this developed. But what you did is fine. It's a nice job, but you do have to change some things, okay? So go ahead and do that. Correct this essay. Send it back to us corrected. And of course, your error correction list must be added to. And of course, you have to write a new set of essays. So go ahead and do that. We'll be here waiting to see what you write. Good luck.